Welcome adventurers, LARPers, and Ren Fair enthusiasts. Today I am running you through my process for how I make write-ups for arts and science tournaments. Let's get to it. So one of my favorite aspects of the LARP hobby are the arts and science tournaments. I'm a hyper competitive person. I love making things. I love all of the different crafts and the different skill sets that I've been able to pick up and learn through the years because of LARPing. And I always enjoy entering into tournaments. But one of the questions I get asked most frequently is, how do I do write-ups? What goes into it? People get so frustrated when they don't get the right thing or they get knocked on their scores because their write-ups weren't good enough. So today I'm going to show you how I create a template, and I use that same template for every single entry that I ever make. But before we get to that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're getting value out of this video, please consider sharing it to your Facebook groups, your Discord groups, wherever your local LARP meets and gets together online. It does a lot of good for the channel if you would share this around. Really appreciate you. Let's get back to the template. All right. So what you're going to do is go to Canva. Now, Canva has a free version and a paid version, but you can do what we're going to be doing today on the free version. I use Canva all the time. I think it's one of those subscriptions that is worth the paid version. Sometimes it's not, or some subscriptions aren't. This one I think really, really is. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over here and we're going to click template. And then we're going to go over here to marketing. You can kind of look around and find what you want. I like newsletters the best. And so what we're looking for in newsletters, we're looking for something similar to this one that has lots of text on it and a couple of spots for photos. If you have a particular style that you're going for, like if you want to be more sporty or more bright colors or more minimalistic, you can kind of go from there. This one's not too bad. You really need something with a lot of text for your write-up. So you don't want something like this one here. This just isn't enough text. I personally try and keep my write-ups to one page. So I'm looking, let's just scroll through here and see if there's anything in particular that we like. This one could work. That one's not bad. That one's okay. Okay. Again, what I'm looking for, something with a picture or two and lots of room for text. I'm looking for something minimalistic, ideally, something like this. Okay. So we'll go in and we'll customize this. So it pops up with 2 pages. I'm going to try and keep everything that I need right here on 1 page. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be my ANS temp. And then right here, I will put the title of tournament. So what I would do here, I would say, this is Winner's Edge ANS tournament, winner of whatever, then I would put what category. So like Garber would go here. And then I would put whatever the date is for my tournament. So already you have this clear thing at the top that shows the judges, what they're looking at, what category it's in, what the date is. Then I would get rid of this, and this. And then right here, I would do quick facts. And so I would put the category again. I would put the time invested. I would put materials. This is where you're going to get all of the information that your tournament runner really needs to know, and your judges can get at a quick glance what you want to do or all the information about your write-up. Sometimes some people will different tournaments will require different things. You can just add that in here. I do like this being bold. I like this being bright and colorful. Then when you come in and all of this, you just delete this text, and then this is where your write-up goes. In your write-up, you need to include things like the materials, the processes that you use to make your item. If you use any video tutorials or got any help, anything that it wasn't 100% you need to throw that in there. Ideally, you need to have a write-up that goes through and takes everything that the judge would need to know about your object to help them better give you a score and throw it in your write-up. If you can't fit that in 1 page, you probably are being too wordy with it. So I would go through and this would be my write-up. And then you can come in here and take, say I'm going to enter this belt, right? I would come in and I would throw the picture of the belt right there. So it's on this. So when the judges are picking it up and they're looking at the item, they don't have to go back and forth and look and go, oh, well, I don't know what I'm going to be doing with this. I don't know which one is which. They know very quickly that this is the item that I'm going to be judging. Here's what I'm reading about. 1 picture, 2 pictures most. Some things will require more photos if it's a big process. What I would do then is include a second page of just photos. But most of the time, I try and just keep it to 1 page. And then once you have this finished, every item that you come in and do, you just change the facts here, like category, and then you fill out what you need, time invested. I would probably make this a little smaller. I don't like that. That's a little too big. Yeah, something like that. Right. And then you go in, you can change the font, and then it just makes your write-ups very easy, and you can do it very quickly when you need to. Let's see if it will let me do it, show you the template that I use. I went with a more minimalistic one, not as much. So you can see here, silk tunic and belt. Here is the tournament that I am going to be entering in. Here are my quick points. This one is a garber. Here are the materials that I use, time spent. I got 1 big photo, and then I personally have 2 because I like being able to do vertical and then zoomed in photos. It's kind of what I try and have. One of these be really close on the detail and one of them be the larger zoomed out photo. And then I have all of my info. Oh, I need to fix that. But so on here, right, the tunic's made of silk. Here's the materials. Here's how I made it. I went through and I listed all of the reasons for why I did what I did. When I'm writing my write-ups, hear this. Anticipate the things that the judges are going to give you negative points on. For instance, I know that some judges might give me a negative score because I don't have the underarm gussets, gores, whichever the correct term is there. So in my write-up, I said I purposefully did not do that because you don't need to do that if you do this particular sleeve style, a more modern sleeve style. And you explain why you're doing what you're doing. So that way the judges don't just have easy things to write down and take points off of. They can still disagree with it, but you have a better chance of changing their mind or at least explaining what you're doing. It will help your scores overall. Another one on this one. I don't French seam. I don't do a lot of the fancier stuff like that just because it's not needed, quite frankly. I have a serger and a sewing machine. And so I serge all my edges, I straight stitch it 3 times, and I call it done. You don't need, in my opinion, and educated opinion, you don't need some of those fancier seams in there. But some judges, especially newer judges, think that you do. And that if you're not having that particular thing in there, you're going to get a lower score, which is fine if they want to do it, right? That's their prerogative as the judge. You can't get mad about that. But what I do is I make sure I preempt their arguments in my write-up, and I make sure I throw all of that info in there. This one, you can see I need to touch up a little bit. This would need to get bumped. But this is the template that I use for all of my tournaments. You're going to see I've got a bunch of different items here, and I go in and just fill these out. It takes a little bit of time to get the template up and going. But once you do it, it is definitely worth it and will save you a lot of time if you are going to be competing in tournaments on a regular basis. So friends, that is how I make templates and how I write all of my write-ups. I then will go through and print these out right before the tournament. I'll put them in a folder, make sure that they're nice and clean and crisp. I don't like handwritten notes. I don't like just plain pages. I like to go above and beyond, take that extra step to kind of put me above my competition. Take every opportunity that you can to get the free points that are on the table. So if you found this video helpful, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel out a lot. I also do want to plug, I just created a Patreon. So I made a video on that. I'll plug it up here as well. If you want to or are interested in that and you want to support me and the channel, feel free, go take a look at some of the different tiers there. Got some really cool prizes, some really cool rewards for the different tiers, and I'm excited to see where this can go. So until next time, I am St. Godric. See you later.